The KJ Today Show presents the Can't Commit to a Book Club with Executive Producer Johna. This is where I get to interview some of your favorite authors and ask them questions about all things bookish. All right, everybody. Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Can't Commit to a Book Club with me, Executive Producer Johna, the author interview edition. I have with me author Mimi Francis. Mimi.
Hi.
Thank you for being on book club with me.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Of course. I'm creeping on your website as we speak. I creeped on it earlier today, but I had to gotta make sure I have
a little more.
Yeah, everybody needs the clicks,
Yeah, that's right. We do. Yes, we do.
So what I'm looking at here is 10 books.
I have
on your website.
7. And I'm in some anthologies too.
I
have 7 of my own, and I have 3 anthologies that are out, and I have 2 books coming out next year in 2024.
Oh my goodness.
Then I'll be up to 9 of my own. So
oh my gosh, you are so busy.
Yeah. I am. I write a lot. So
how do you have time to take care of your dogs?
Yeah, I know, right? It's when they're quiet that I get the most writing done.
Yeah.
I actually put my dogs in my stories. So one of my my little boy Shih Tzu, he is actually one of the characters in one of my books, and he is very popular. So everybody, and another book I have a Belgian Malinois. And he's a service dog, and his name's Soldier. And everybody always writes me and is like, "Oh my God, I love Soldier!" And he's a super great dog. So he's kind of the hero of the story. So.
Oh, well, I mean, with a name like Soldier, you kind of got to be the hero.
Kind of got to be, right?
Well, so I read on your website that you were just like, I'm just going to start writing. So what really pushed you to you know what? I'm going to write romance novels, because my favorite quote of yours that I can't find it, because of course I can't. It's the "Don't live a life, live a romance." And that is one of my favorite quotes ever.
Thank you. That's my logo. Don't live a life, live a romance. I actually started as a fan fiction writer. I started writing for the supernatural fandom, mostly was how I got into fan fiction.
We're going to get along so well.
See, that's awesome. Yeah, I am a huge fan fiction writer for Supernatural. Love Supernatural. I'm actually doing a rewatch right now.
It's always in my queue on Netflix.
Yep, gotta be there. And so I'd never written fan fiction before, but after I fell into the Supernatural hole, I started writing fan fiction for it. And I absolutely had a blast writing. And I suddenly found myself with 20,000 followers on Tumblr, and people oh my God, you need to write actual books and everything. And I was still too afraid to do that. So I kind of ventured off moved a little from Supernatural into Marvel fan fiction. So around the main Marvel movies, mostly the first Marvel movies. Yeah, we can be best buddies because
best friends.
Yeah, best friends. So that's actually how I got my start. And then one day I had this idea, and I considered writing it as fan fiction. And then I was like, you know what? Instead of doing this as fan fiction, I think I'm going to give it a shot as an original story. And that was my first book, Private Lives. So it kind of just took off from there. And the next thing I knew, I was just pumping out story after story. And I just love romance because, I love that feel good feel you get from reading romance books, because to me, that's what a romance book is for. It's to give you a chance to escape and to feel good about what you're doing. So, what you're reading, and you're happy at the end of it, and you're happy for the people in it. And that's kind of why I write romance. So, yeah.
Literally, when I was looking at your website earlier, I was like, I just want to be best friends with her because she loves all the same things that I love.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm totally down for that, Johna. We can be best friends. So
yes.
I can always use more best friends in my life.
Same. I love friends. Sorry, with my cat. Oh, okay. He's laying down now. He came over here he was wanted to play fetch, and then he realized I wasn't gonna pay attention to him, so he's laying down.
Darn it. Yeah, I got one laying right here next to me. So
Yeah. Yeah. He's usually pretty good once he realizes I'm in like work mode.
yeah, yeah.
He's like, "But you just came home." I'm like, "I know I did, but it never
You're just
stops."
gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah,
Right,
he'll be fine.
right.
And he has food, so I don't understand what his problem is, but that's
He's a cat.
he's so needy. And then I'm getting another one just so he will leave me alone.
So he has a friend, right?
Yes, yes, yes. He
Yeah.
definitely. I've had him for a year, and we've been doing pretty good. But he was also like going to my friends' houses, having play dates with her cats. But
Oh,
like some
okay.
stuff was going on, so like he really can't go over there anymore. So he's got like all this energy that he would normally get out,
Yeah. He
and I'm
needs
like,
another friend. He needs a friend.
yeah. I was like, I'm not about to deal with this for the rest of my
No,
life.
he needs a friend.
Yeah, so he's gonna be getting a friend.
That's awesome. He needs one.
Yes, he does. I mean, I don't know if you like believe in like stuff like that, but we have a pet communicator, and like she can like talk to your pets like
Sure,
telepathically or
sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
And I had a talk with him the other day just to make sure that he was like okay, because like I thought he had a bladder infection. It was like this whole thing. I'm just getting
Yeah.
super off topic. But I thought he had a bladder infection, so I was like, okay, is he okay? Like, how's he feeling? She's like, oh, he said he's fine, blah blah blah. And I was like, well, would he be interested in having like a sibling? And she was like, he is totally on board for that. And I was
Hey,
like,
good. He's
right?
getting one then.
Yeah. He was like, brother or sister, and he was like, I want a boy cat, and I was like,
Yep.
all right.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah. So he's gonna be getting a brother that
That's good.
he can teach to also be a menace to society. So
Yeah. Pass on all his hints and clues on how to
yeah.
do it, right?
Yeah. And he's only a year old, and the cat I'm getting is just like a few months old. So like I'm
Oh
like,
yeah. Yeah. You're
I
in
was,
for it.
yeah, I know. Both boys too, and I'm like,
Oh
yay.
yeah.
Why am I doing this to myself?
Because we're crazy, but we love them, so
I
that's why it's
know.
okay.
I know. I know. All
That's
right. So
awesome.
oh my gosh, I can't wait. Okay, back to books. I'm so sorry. I just get,
That's
you
okay.
get to talking about your pets, and then you're just like,
You go off on a oh, I know, trust me. You go off on a tangent.
so it looks like all of your private lives, private protection, private party. It says second chances in Hollywood. So are all of these second chance romances?
They are. They're second chance romances, not necessarily with somebody you knew before, but
Mhm.
it's getting a second chance at love that maybe you thought you weren't going to get. So, like the first book is about anxiety ridden actor who just cannot get his life together, and he's had so many girlfriends he can't even count them all, and every move he makes is in the media, and it drives him crazy because he can't have a girlfriend because everybody's all up in his business. So he hires an escort to kind of be his girlfriend and keep it out of the press. And of course, it doesn't stay that way.
Mm-hmm.
And it all blows up in his face, but happily ever after always comes
Uh,
around. So, and all my books are standalone reads, so they're just in an interconnected universe. So every book has an ending. I don't leave anybody on a cliffhanger, but then I bring in other characters. So Private Protection is actually the bodyguard from Private Lives is the main character of Private Protection, and that one has a actual. If you've seen the Whitney Houston movie, The Bodyguard, it has a
I
very
love that movie.
it has a very bodyguard vibe that kind of movie vibe to it. So it's kind of got that little bit of a vibe to it with a bodyguard and a kind of moody diva actress that he has to protect who's been getting death threats. So
Oh
there's
my
that one.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And then I try to connect everybody. So Private Party is the bodyguard Alex, his brother. It's about his brother Caleb, who's also a famous actor, and he kind of literally falls into this girl's bookstore slash bakery that she owns, which, as far as I'm concerned, is every reader's dream is to own a bookstore of some kind.
Yes.
So yeah. So mine is a bookstore slash bakery. I would love to have something like that where you can, get your favorite cupcake and your favorite book at the same time. So that's what that one is about. And she's struggling to keep her bookstore open. So he offers to help her out by throwing a private party in her bookstore. And again, kind of goes from there. So But again, you don't have to read them all in any kind of order. You can just read them in any order you want. You'll just see the characters pop up, because I kind of like to keep you filled in on what they're doing in their
Yeah.
lives, because you always wonder, hey, I wonder what that couple from that book's doing. Well, I try to keep you up to date. So
I love
by
it.
reading the other books. So
Me immediately goes and buys all of these books. These are all, it's all my favorite tropes, you know, second
oh yes.
chances, you
Mm-hmm.
know, fake
Bodyguard, fake
dating, all that.
dating,
I,
yeah,
all
forced
that's,
proximity.
oh
I
man,
love a trope. I'm telling you, I
dude.
absolutely love tropes. So I try to take those tropes, and then I kind of try to give them a little bit of a twist if I can, because try to make them so they're not like so, middle of the road. I try to make them a little bit different if I can. But oh yeah, I love a trope. So a lot of times when I write my books, I'll sit down and I'll go, what tropes can I put in here? So, my daughter too. My daughter is a huge reader, and she'll message me sometimes and she'll be like, Mommy, you need to write this trope in your next book. And I'm like, all right, I'll figure out a way to get it in there. So.
Oh yeah, I'm super into right now. It's the fake dating and like the forced proximity. Like that's where I'm living at right now.
Yeah.
I just finished a fake dating book right like today. I finished it and I was like, man, that was just so good.
I know, I love fake dating. I actually have in the Loves of Lakeside series, my fake dating one is our 2-week one night stand is a fake relationship. So, and that one was so much fun to write. I really enjoyed it because it was also one of those where, they kind of wanted to be in a relationship, and the fake relationship was helping one of the two of them out. And it kind of just grew from there, where they were like, hey, you know what? This might be working out a little bit better than we thought. So that's the one my dog Sebastian is in. my dog Sebastian's in that book. So
I love it.
Yep. And disclaimer right off the bat, I put pets in my books, but nothing ever happens to them. They do not die.
Good.
So
Good.
I will never kill off any of the pets in my books. I know that sometimes people are like, there's a dog in your book. Is it going to die? No.
I think I only ever worry about that like in movies. I never really worry about them in books. I say that as I just finished a book a couple of weeks ago where the female main character, well, the main character, like she didn't have like a love interest or anything. She had a cat and her cat died. It was like page 2 and she was like, hey, my cat's dead. I was like, okay.
What? Okay, that was rapid. I saw read an interview or something with Tessa Bailey where she had written a book and she put a cat in it, and she said she got about 3/4 of the way through the book and all of a sudden she realized that the cat had just disappeared. She had no idea where the cat was. So when she went back to edit it, she took the cat out because she kept forgetting that the cat existed, so she quit writing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're gonna put them in there, you might want to remember they're there. So
yeah, I have that problem not with pets but like with other people, because I'm like, when I'm like writing characters, I'm like, I feel like they should maybe have some friends.
and then you forget about the friends.
Yeah.
I do that too. Yeah. That's an easy one to do, is forget that they have friends, and you're like, who are they going to talk to here? Oh, that's right. That back there in that chapter, I put a friend.
Absolutely. I'm like, I have to go back and I'm like, what was their name? I don't even remember.
Oh my gosh, I do that too. I do that. I have to keep spreadsheets with the names on them, because if I don't, I forget. And then I'm like, I don't remember what their name was.
I try and like write them down. Like I try my hardest to like plan.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't really work out. I normally just do it so I remember the characters' names.
Oh my God, that's totally me. Yeah, Johna, we have to be friends. I mean,
we have to be.
It's almost like destiny at this point.
Literally. Well, your books look awesome. I'm definitely gonna buy them for myself.
I appreciate that.
All right, so tell me about your books. We talked about that. So when you finally decided to publish, what was that big thing that pushed you to be like, I'm doing this, I'm going to publish these books?
Well, I tried self-publishing at first.
That's hard.
It didn't go. Yeah, it's hard. It didn't go great because I didn't know that I needed like a really super professional cover, and because no matter how much you say you don't judge a book by its cover, you do. So yeah, I do too. So I didn't have great covers. I didn't have the right formatting tools, everything like that. So the self-publishing didn't work out so great. So I kind of pulled the books down and I just let them sit for a little bit. And then one day I had started an author Instagram when I started self-publishing, and I noticed that a publisher, Four Horsemen Publications, started following me on my Instagram. So out of curiosity, I went and looked at him. And at this point, I literally had like 45 followers. So I did not have so many followers. So I went and looked at him. And the first thing I saw on their Instagram page was that they were accepting submissions. And I thought, well, you know what? I can't hurt to try. The worst thing that could happen is they'll tell me no. So I did a quick edit on the first 4 chapters of Private Lives, made sure it looked pretty decent. And I sent it off thinking I'm going to get a no. But it'll be my first no. It'll be my first rejection. I'll have one rejection under my feet and I can, keep going. And to my unending surprise, a week after I sent it in, I got an email from them and they said they were interested in working with me. So that was so awesome. And then that push kind of just got me fired up to keep going and keep writing. And that was I signed my contract in 2020 and I've been with them ever since. And I've got 7 books out now.
Nice.
So yeah, it just was. And I think a lot of it too had to do with my kids are all older and moved out of the house. So it's just me and my husband. And it was kind of important for me to be able to say to my kids, look, just because I'm in my 50s doesn't mean I can't do this. I'm not going to sit on the couch like a lump because I don't have anything in my world. Now I have my writing, and that is so important to me for my kids, especially to see that you can do anything you want, no matter how old you are. And so that's kind of what the push was to do that, to take care of that. So yeah.
Me crying. Everything's fine. I have cat hair in my eyes. I'm sorry. That's so awesome. Yeah, I get a few authors have just been like, it's just, you get that push, like if it's just yourself pushing you or your family members that are pushing you, but like not that it surprises me, but like it's just awesome to see that other people are like, no, like you're great at this, so like why are you putting it out into the world?
Yeah. It feels good when you get that. And a lot of it had to do with the going back to the fan fiction. A lot of people were like, you should publish these, you should publish your book, write a book. I would totally read it. And that was kind of the little oomph I needed to give me the confidence to at least try it.
Yeah.
And look what happened. It amazes me every day. That imposter syndrome gets me. I wake up every day and I'm like, this is like my life now. This is what I am. I'm a writer. And it just throws me sometimes, but I love it.
Yeah. It's fun and stressful being a writer.
Yes, it's both fun and stressful.
Fun and stressful. Absolutely. Let's see. What do you do when you get stuck when you're writing?
A lot of the times when I get stuck when I'm writing, I will do one of 2 things. One, I will switch what I'm writing to something different because I almost always have a couple books going at one time. So sometimes I'll shift gears and try to write something new. So it'll kind of fire me up to either work on that or go back to what I was working on. I've really found that just switching gears like that will help me focus on what I'm writing. And then the other thing I'll do is I'll go write fan fiction. Sometimes I'll just be like, you know what? I need to be able to write something where I don't have to think up the characters and I don't have to build the world around them, where I can just jump right in and everybody knows who they are and everybody knows how they exist. And I don't have to worry about all the details. And for some reason, that always helps me swing back around to being able to create my own stuff again. I think it's a little bit of a brain break almost because I don't have to think as hard about writing fan fiction because that world already exists and I'm just borrowing it from it.
Yeah. It's so hard to world build when you're writing.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, I know it's fiction, but like, because some fiction writers use like real places or like real things.
I do. I use real places, so I'd have to do a lot of research. And then my Loves of Lakeside series is set in Montana, which is where I'm originally from. And the town of Lakeside is actually a real town, but I have fictionalized it
Mhm.
quite a bit. So I have to do a lot of research because I have to make my fictional world fit into the real world of
Yeah.
Lakeside. So it's a little bit interesting the way that I have to do that. And anybody who thinks as a romance writer you don't have to world build, they're wrong. I know that fantasy they have to build even more, but
Mhm.
you still have to do quite a bit of it even as a romance writer. It always surprises me. And I really think the hard part with that is because so much romance is in actual real world places.
Mhm.
If you don't do the research and you get something wrong, somebody's going to call you out on it. Somebody's
Yeah.
going to message you and go, "This isn't real." And then I feel bad. I'm like, "Oh my
Right.
god, I didn't research it enough." So,
Yeah.
yeah. As a matter of fact, right now I've got like a whole list of New York coffee places around Central Park up on my computer screen because that's one of the things I'm researching for a new series I'm writing is coffee places around Central Park. So,
Well, hey, that's
yeah,
pretty awesome. I
yeah.
mean,
I'll know where to go when I go to New York if I need coffee. So,
that's true. That's true. And if you ever go to New York, I would like to be invited. Thank you.
you're welcome. I will make sure you get to come because we are best friends now,
We
Jonna. So
are. We're
I
best
feel like,
friends.
yeah, I
We
feel
gotta
like you
go to.
got to go.
I have to. I've only been to like New York State. I've never been to New York City, and I've always wanted to go.
I've only been once and I was only there for one day and it was so overwhelming just the one day that I would like to go back just to kind of see
Hmm.
things, how things are a little bit. I am going to Washington DC next year because
Nice.
I'm going to a Polycon. I'm an
Ooh.
attending author for a Polycon, so I'm like
Ooh.
super excited about that. So is my daughter. She is a huge Jennifer Armentrout fan,
Nice.
and she's the one who kept pushing me to fill out the interest form for it. And I
Hmm.
finally got picked after like 4 years of filling out the interest form. So she's going as my assistant. So she's extremely excited.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh,
Yeah.
that's the
It's
best.
fun. I can't wait. Yeah.
Oh man,
I can't wait.
dude, it's gonna. I know it'll be so fun. I like because I'm a nerd, right? So like, I
Yeah.
my co-host on the main show, the KJ Today show, she was in radio for 20 years, and so she knows everybody and does everything. So we get to go to all of these cons and stuff,
Oh,
where
fun.
I get to meet like all of these celebrities that I'm like, oh my god, I would never ever have a chance to get this close to this person ever in my
Yeah.
life.
It's
And then
so cool.
yeah, and she's like, "Well, you're my executive producer, so like, why wouldn't I take you?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" Like,
But this is so cool. I know. It's so crazy. I mean, like and I'm the same way because I keep seeing the other authors that are going and I'm like,
mhm,
oh my God, I love them. Oh my God, I love them. And then I'm like, I'm probably not gonna have time to meet them. But at
right?
the same time, I am so excited that I just get to be a part of it.
Yeah,
I could probably sell one book and I'm still gonna be excited that I get to be a part of it. So
yeah.
yeah.
That's that. I mean, a lot of it is because my co-host, she also wrote a book, and so like she makes like pet remedies and like stuff like that. So when we go to cons, we like sell that stuff. But she's like, like it would be nice if we sold stuff. Like it's money, but like she's like, it's really just being here and the experience
And
and
the
not
experience.
and
Yep.
the exposure. Like people, they're like, some people will walk past your table and be like, "Oh, that looks cool." Like, I'll
Yeah.
take your business card, and then I'm like, "Man, my cat's
Hmm.
acting up. Where's that card at that had those pet remedies?" You
Yeah,
know?
that shows you, yeah, and
Yeah.
I just did an event this past weekend, and I didn't sell very many books, but I talked to so many people, and I had so much fun, and I just got to chit chat about books, and I got to
Hmm.
talk about stickers because I had stickers all over my table, and people grabbed my business card and stuff, and that was all that mattered. It wasn't about how many books am I gonna sell. It
Hmm.
was about how many people can I talk to and engage with and just say, "Hey, how you doing?" And it
Yeah.
was so much fun. I had a blast. It was really
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
I've never been to like a book convention,
This was my first one this last weekend, so it
dude.
was so cool. It was
Oh
fun.
man,
I highly recommend it.
it's well, because at like some of the like regular like the comic cons and stuff like that, like they have like artists and authors, like they have like
Yeah.
a row, right? But I've
Yeah, they'll have
never,
author row.
yeah, but I've never been to like a full where it's just full on off. Like I think I would die of like excitement.
Yeah, it's so cool. My daughter, the same one who's going to a Polycon with me, she
Hmm.
was my assistant for this one too because I'm like, you need the practice because you
Hmm.
guys so you know what's going on. And she walked in and we were walking by tables. And this is not like a huge one because this is only the second year and stuff. And we were going by the tables and she would lean over and she'd go, Mom, I've read her books. And she's like, I love her. And I'm like, go talk to her. And, so I kind of pushed her to go talk to her. And we had the best time. And she walked out, of course, with a stack of books, like, big and stuff.
That's my only thing about going to a book con, especially out of state. Because, like, if I have to fly there, I can't check a 50-pound bag full of books.
No. I know my husband and I are actually driving when we go to DC because we're kind of making a trip of it, and my whole entire family is coming. We're doing a whole big family trip to do a Polycon.
Nice.
And my daughter is like, well, since you and Dad are driving, I'm going to give you all my books that I buy to take home with you. And I'm like, okay.
You know what? She's That's like, smart.
Yeah. She's like, you can just take my books home for you. And then she's like, and if I have books I want signed, I'm going to send them with you so you can carry them with me. So we got it all worked out for her.
You know what? That's fair.
Yeah. But it was, I have never been to one I've been to like book festivals, which are a little bit different than an actual author signing thing, author event. And this was just so amazing. It's so much fun to talk to all those readers, and I just had the best time doing it. So if you ever get to go, I definitely recommend it.
I'm literally on the Polycon website right now because I'm like, when is this? Because I might need to take some time off.
Yeah, there's an Polycon Facebook group you can join because tickets are sold out. But if you're on that Facebook group, you can get tickets because people who end up can't go will put their tickets on. You know what? I'll email you the link.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I will. Yes. I'll email you the link because then you can get on there and you can maybe score some tickets. So, and then you have to stop by my table and say hi. So,
of course. Oh, wait, I can't go to that one.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's the same weekend as PopCon Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I live in Indianapolis.
And you're in Indianapolis.
Yeah, so I gotta go. Oh man, I'll go to the next one though. All these authors I've been talking to, and they're like, "Oh, I go to like this convention and this convention," and I'm like,
"Yeah, I've been trying to go to a lot more. I've been trying to watch really closely, and the problem has always been there aren't a lot in Arizona where I am, but now they're doing a Wild and Windy West." Because they've done one in Chicago for years. So I didn't get picked for that one yet, but I'm on the waiting list. And then there's somebody here, her name's Stephanie. She started one called Raven Spicy Reads. And she's doing a big one next September, and I am in that one, so that one will be a lot of fun too.
Ooh,
so yeah,
oh my gosh, it's like my dream to like. I would have to take someone with me because I know that I would be so overwhelmed when I got there that I would start I like anyone who knows, like I can't even go into like if I'm gonna go to like a bookstore and you want to go with me, like be prepared to like be there like
for a while,
bring like a bed or something because like I want to be there, and then I will sit there and hem and haw about books because of money. I'm like, okay, well, I really want this one because it's like the end of my book series, but like I also really want this one because it starts a series, you know. They're like, just get both of them. I can't afford both of them.
Right? I wish it's so troublesome that we have to actually, spend money on books, but
I know, right? It's so rude.
So rude.
I know. I can't, people are like trying to, because I think I have this app on my phone where I can track all the books that I own. And people are like, well, how many books do you have? And I'm like, oh, I think, I don't know, 300 or something like that. And they're like, you own
I know
300 books? And I was like, yeah. Like,
have you ever seen that lady who says you shouldn't have any more than 15 books in your house? And I'm like,
yes,
who are you?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Books. What is that?
Dude. And then my guy best friend, because he's a boy, and boys aren't big readers, right? And
no, yeah.
He asked me, he's like, how many books do you own? And I was like, oh, 300. And he was like, did you read all of them? I was like, I read some of them. And he goes, why do you still have the ones that you read? And I was like, because they're mine.
They're my books.
He's like, why don't you get rid of it after you read it? I was like, because it's mine.
It's my book. I'm not going to go.
He's like, well, what if someone else wants it? I was like, they can go buy their own.
They can get one of their own.
He was
That's
like,
the silliest question ever.
he was like, I don't understand. I was like, clearly.
Yeah, obviously not. Obviously, you don't get it.
Yeah, people just think it's the funniest thing that I have so many books, and they're like, you don't read them, and I'm like,
No,
okay, so
but I will. Just give
I'm,
me a chance.
right. I'm like, how many TV shows do you have in your queue that you haven't watched?
That's actually a good comeback. That's a
Yeah,
very, very good comeback because that's the honest truth. How many
yeah,
TV shows do you have on a list that you have yet to watch yet?
yeah.
Probably quite a few. So,
And to
yeah.
be fair, I've started a lot of books. It's just that another book comes along, and it's like,
Yep.
eh.
Gotta read that one. Are you a
Mhm.
mood reader?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, like I've been since I started the book club, I've been trying to like be more like active about reading. But like what was I was trying to read something the other day, and like I just was not in the headspace to be reading what I was reading, and I was like, oh, for the second book that we read for book club, my actual like book club where we get together and talk, was The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches.
Okay.
And it was a super cute book, but I was reading it and I was like, I don't know if I like don't like this or if I'm just not in the right
Frame. Yeah.
headspace to be reading this, but like I had to read it for book club.
Yeah.
And then I was done with it and I was like, that was good.
It was good. Yeah. I do that though too. I probably have like 7 or 8 books on my shelf that I've started and I
Mhm.
have not finished them because I'll get like partway through it and I'll go,
Yeah.
I need to try something else. So I'll pick up something else and start that. It's just I just have to be in the mood at that moment to read
Yeah.
it. So,
And like if
yeah.
I'm being honest, I'm in my like dark romance era right now. And so like I've got like all these fluffy books on my shelf. And everybody's like, why don't you read this? Why don't you read that? And I'm like, that's
Because
not
I'm
where
reading this. Yeah.
that's
It's not
not where
where
I
I'm at.
am mentally.
Yep.
Mentally.
Sometimes you get in those grooves. Well,
Yeah.
I have a semi-dark romance coming out.
Ooh.
It's not like super dark.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something for people who don't like the like dark mafia type stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wanted to do something that maybe was a little bit more, I say vanilla, but I'm a steamy romance writer, so my stuff's not vanilla, but maybe not maybe not the dubious consent and stuff
yeah.
like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
in there. So I have one called Taken by the Mobster that
yeah.
comes out in March.
Oh, I saw
So,
that
yeah.
on your website. I was like,
Yeah. So
ooh.
that's my dark and I even said it's darker than what I normally write and it's a little bit darker than what I normally write, but it's kind of my way of saying, hey, if you don't love like the super dark romance mafia
Mhm.
stuff, here's something that might be a little bit more to your taste that, isn't going to quite maybe
Yeah.
make you go, "Oh, I don't know if I like that or not." So
Yeah.
that was kind of my take on trying to write a mafia romance. So
I can appreciate that because sometimes, like, they tell like, oh, your content warnings and all that
yeah, and all
stuff, and
that
you're
stuff.
like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into it, I'm gonna read it, and then sometimes, like, I'm like, okay, this isn't too bad, and then sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. And I'm more power to you if
yeah,
that's what you want to read or if that's what you want to write. I will never ever shame anybody for what they want to read or what they
right,
want to write, but sometimes I know that that's not always what people want. So
yeah,
I wanted to try and write something that maybe was a little bit tamer
yeah,
for people that maybe weren't interested in something super dark. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's why I did Taken by the Mobster. And there's going to be a sequel. There's actually a sneak peek in the back of that book for the sequel to that
Nice,
one too. So
nice.
that's one of my newest series that's coming out. And then I'm working on some paranormal romance,
Ooh,
which is new for me, but I'm kind of trying to pull from my supernatural roots and write a little bit of paranormal romance too. So,
nice.
yeah.
Gosh, I haven't read a paranormal romance since I was like a teenager.
Yeah, I know. I haven't even read any paranormal romance in a really long time. My again, my daughter, she's my big reader. She her name's Ariana. She absolutely loves paranormal romance and stuff like that. So when I told her that I was thinking about writing one, I gave her like the first chapter of it and she
Mm-hmm.
read it and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm totally hooked." And I'm like, "Perfect. You're my target audience, girl." So here we go.
Oh, I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So,
yeah, I love that you branch out, like
yeah.
you're not just like the fluffy romance or like some I mean, more power to you if you can like consistently write like kind of the same thing. But like it's really cool that, you know, you're just like,
that's why I kind of started trying to do it, is because sometimes, I mean, there's nothing wrong with fluffy romance, but after a while you kind of go, oh, I need a break from all the fluff. I need something a little bit more raw and a little bit more sink my teeth into it type stuff. So that's where Taken from the Mobster came from. And now the paranormal stuff is kind of coming from there too. So
nice.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait. Is there somewhere I can pre-order on this website?
You can actually, it's up for pre-order on Amazon right now, only the ebook. So
okay,
if you want the Kindle, you can pre-order it on Amazon for Kindle. So
man, I am not above pre-ordering. Okay.
Yeah, it's on there.
Oh my God. I love a good pre-order.
Yes.
Because when it comes to book math, if you pre-order it,
when you get it, it's free.
It's free.
Exactly.
I forgot.
I forgot you pre-ordered it. Yep. I do the exact same thing. I'm like, it's like a present. It's like, oh,
literally.
I totally forgot about this.
Oh my gosh. I did that once with this fantasy series that I read. I pre-ordered the second book and I was like, oh, and I forgot it came out like in October or something of like last year. And I was like, so I pre-ordered it after I read the first book and I was like, yeah, I'm so excited for my pre-order. Da, da, da. And then like, of course, you know, time goes by.
Yeah, you forget.
And then I like walked up to my house and looked at my doorstep and I was like, what did I order from Amazon? And then I opened it and I was like, it's my book.
Like I said, it's like a present.
Oh my
gosh. It's so exciting. It's like, whoa, I got it. Yeah.
Dude, it's the best feeling in the world. And
it is.
And one of my friends, she's also like she's a legit reader. And I'm so sad she moved to Ohio, but she bought a book and she was like, I think I bought this book for myself and then I bought it again because I thought I didn't have it. And I was like, that's fair. That's why I got the app to track all my books because I had multiple copies of the same book.
I did that too. I actually bought a couple books. I bought a book one day because I'm like, oh, I don't have this book. And then I got home and I put it on my shelf and I put it on my shelf right next to the other copy of it. And I'm like, oh, look at that. There you go.
Yeah.
I do have it.
Oh yeah. When I used to live with my mom, I was having like one of those ADHD moments where you're up at like midnight and you're like, I gotta do something. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna do. And I
gotta do something. Yep.
I looked up at the top of my closet and like all of my books just looked like they looked fine, but like to my 12 p.m. brain was like, what?
Yeah,
why does
I gotta
look
do
like
something
that up there? So I took, and my mom's like in her bed, knocked out, and I'm just like taking all my books off my shelf and organizing them. And she gets up at like 3 a.m. and she's like, what are you doing?
What are you doing at 3 a.m? I'm organizing. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
And then I was like, put them on the shelf. And then I was like, oh man, I have this book already. So then I had to like text one of my friends and be like, hey,
do you want this?
Read this book? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the post office tomorrow and send it to you.
Mail it to you. Oh yeah. I do that.
Yeah, so I got the app to like track it because it really helps me. And then I went, and then I went to a bookstore with my friends, and I was like, I know I have this book series, but I don't know like which like of the books I have. And so like I just pulled the book off the shelf and I scanned the barcode, and it was like, you already have this book, and I was like, great, and I put it back on the shelf. And my friend was like, he was like, what did you do? And I was like, I looked to see if I had the book. He was like, how did you know? And I was like, I have an app. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. I know I'm chaotic all the time, but like
I'm organized when it comes to my books. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And my friends were like, can I borrow some of your books? And I'm like, yeah, if you take care of them and you give them back.
Yep.
One of my friends has like, one piece. She has like 2 of my books right now. And she's like, I'm going to give them back to you. I'm like, are you?
Are you really gonna give them back to me?
I've seen you like 15 times since you borrowed them,
and you still haven't given them back.
And I still don't have them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm like, I'm gonna kidnap one of your kids if you don't get.
I'll hold your kid till you give me back my books.
Which means I won't be getting my books back because I would have one of her kids.
I'd be like, oh, thanks for giving me a break.
Yeah, no. I mean, it helps that her kids are also my nephews. So
well, there you go.
They're the best. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, that app has totally saved my life.
I bet. I should probably get it.
It's called
Oh yeah.
Bookshelf, and literally it's just like a little pink book that's like the cover of it,
Uh-huh.
and you just scan the barcode and like it just adds it to your
Oh
library.
yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to get that because that'll
Oh,
help me a lot. So
it's great,
yep.
and it's free, so like it's great.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And I will be recommending it to my daughter too, because she has a lot of books and she does the same thing. She buys books she already has and then she forgets she already had them. But
Mm-hmm.
she does it. She pre-orders them and
Mm-hmm.
then she'll pre-order them again from somewhere else. So she'll get them like multiple copies somehow. I don't know how she does that.
You just like walk on your porch and you're like, Ariana, you have 15 packages.
Yeah. There's a lot of books here. Are they all yours? Yeah, when she went with me on Saturday to the book thing, she took a picture of her stack of books and she posted it to her Instagram. And about 5 minutes after she did it, she got a text message from her girlfriend, Ariana Marie, what did you do? And she's like, I am in so much trouble when I get home. I told her, I said, what is Paige going to say when she sees that? She's like, I'm going to be in trouble. And I'm like, oh, well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. That was me too when I lived with my mom as a grown up, like a whole grown up. And like I went to, where did I go? I went to Michigan. And like when I go to different states, I like to try and find like little bookstores to like
oh,
see
yeah,
what they
that's
got
the
going
best
on.
part. Mm-hmm.
And so I went to this bookstore and it was the smallest bookstore, but it was packed with books.
Oh, I love that.
And they were so cheap.
Were they really?
Oh my God, they were so cheap. But it was just packed with books. And I came home from Michigan with like bags and bags of books.
Oh, yeah.
And then like, of course, I went to like half price books too. And so I'm just like walking in my house with all these books. My mom's like, so what'd you get while you were in Michigan? I was like, just some stuff, you know? Nothing ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, nothing.
She's like, those look like books. I don't think that's what. I don't think those are. I don't think you're looking at this correctly. She's like, it says books on it. And I was like, that's just the bag that they had. They recycle. Come on, Mom.
Come on, Mom. What are you talking about? It was just books.
But my mom fully supports my book habit. Yeah. She's like, it could be worse.
That's how I am. I support my daughter's book habit. As a matter of fact, I'm going with both of them. I have two daughters, and we're going to a book signing tomorrow with Rebecca Yaros for her Iron Flame. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm in the middle of Iron Flame right now.
Yeah, we're going tomorrow to. She's coming to Phoenix, amazingly enough. So we're going tomorrow to her book signing. And I totally encourage it. But you know what? If you're going to encourage something in your kids, encourage reading.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
That's the thing. That's the thing to encourage in your kids is the reading. And both of my girls absolutely love to read. And even my son has started reading much more than he did when he was younger. So he's even kind of picked it up a little bit. But both my girls are very avid readers. They just love to read. So
yeah. I think I'm the only one in my family who's like continued to read. Like I started when I was really young because my mom and my sister read so much. I have 4 siblings, so my older sister read so much, and she would let me like
give you the books and stuff. Yeah.
So like she's 4 or 5 years older than me, so like she was reading like romance books like before I was even like allowed to read romance books.
Right.
She was like,
here you go, and
I'm like, absolutely. I'm gonna read it, and then I was just hooked from then on. And I think I mean, you know, you fall off sometimes, you know, with reading because life happens. But I've gotten back into it, and like everyone else in my family is like, I just don't understand how you read so much, and I'm like, I like it.
You like it, yeah.
It's an escape, honestly.
It is.
Like
100%, it's an escape, and it's a good escape. It's an amazing escape. It's a great way to just forget about your troubles for a few hours. So
yes.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I want you to tell Rebecca Yaros when you see her tomorrow that she has broken my heart, and I'm only like
you're only halfway through too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think I'm on chapter 43 right now out of like 60 some chapters, and I didn't listen at all today because I was working, but we just did a book club last night about it, and because we're in book club, we're reading Iron Flame, so we're kind of in the middle of it, and I was just like, my feelings are already hurt, and like we still got 20 chapters to go.
Oh no.
Yeah, and then I found out.
I've been seeing people on Instagram like I just finished Iron Flame and they're like sobbing and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no, no,
Yeah.
no, no.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what the cliffhanger is, but I know that there is one. And then I heard that there's supposed to be 5 books in the series, and I was
That's
like,
what I heard. Yeah.
I
And
was
she's
like,
leaving us on a cliffhanger right off the bat. So,
yeah. And I
oh
was like,
boy.
do I even want to finish this? Because I know I'm gonna have to wait like a year or two for like the next one to come out.
Right?
And
Oh, I know. That's the worst is having to wait for the next books to come out. So,
yeah, I'm
which
like,
is why I don't leave you on a cliffhanger because I hate to wait for the book to come out. So I'm like, no
yes,
cliffhangers on my side of things. We're not going
yeah.
to do that. So,
Yeah. And it's always
yeah.
the worst, like when you get a book and you're like it's just the one book. You don't even know that it's gonna be a series. And you get to the end of the first book and you're like, this is gonna be a series.
Oh, I know. That's the worst. I hate that. It drives me crazy. You're like, oh, I
Yeah.
can't believe it. Now I have to buy the other books and wait for them to come out.
Dude, I
So,
know. I just
mhm.
finished a trilogy. Like I mean, like when I say I ate the third book, like I got it, like I pre-ordered it and I got it and I immediately started reading it. I read it in a day and a half.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and then I was done with it and I was like, I'm really sad because it's finished.
Oh, yeah.
And like I don't know, and like I was so mad because I'm like, if I could go back in time and like reread like this whole series, like from, and I'm not a big rereader, like I can't do it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I know what's gonna happen. And people are like, I just go to look for like little details. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's too much. I'm not doing that. If I'm not
No.
writing fan fiction or like doing like a deep dive on it, like I don't.
Yeah.
What I
No.
got from the first time I read it, that's all I need.
Yeah. I don't usually reread too much either.
Yeah,
I tend to read it once through. The only author I've ever found myself rereading is Stephen King. I've reread his stuff, but I've been reading his stuff since I was a kid. And
yeah,
literally, I mean, when your books are like this thick, you're gonna miss stuff when you're reading. So,
yeah.
you know, I go back through them every now and then. It's kind of nice to just pick up that one favorite book that you have just for the comfort of, hey, I know what happened, so I'm just going to read this because
Yeah.
I just need that little bit of a break. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I totally get
Yeah.
that. Well, what are you reading right now?
What am I reading right now? I am actually reading, I just started a book called, and I can't even really tell you much about what it is because I'm literally like in the first chapter. It's by Lisa Jewell and it's called None of This Is True. And I like a lot of mystery and suspense, which is funny because I'm a romance writer. Well, the cover's on my bookshelf because I have it in hardback. So this is the cover. None of this is true.
Felt
Yeah.
that if I get a hardback book, I cannot read it with the dust cover on.
Oh, neither can I. I can't read it either.
And people are like, why don't you have the dust cover on it? I'm like, because if I'm reading the physical book, like I want to put it in my purse to take with me. And I don't want to mess up the dust jacket.
Yeah, and you'll mess up. I take the dust jacket. I always take the dust jacket off of my books, but I'm reading that.
We're literally
and
meant
about,
to be best friends.
I'm telling you, Johna, you and me. So this one's about somebody who has a podcast, and this lady who's like her birthday twin. They were literally born on the same day at the same hospital. Kind of finds her, and it sounds like everything goes sideways after she finds her. So, yeah. Nice. But I just started it, so I think I'm like the middle of chapter 1. Nice. So that's what I'm reading right now.
I think I saw this book in a bookstore, and I was like,
"Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
I think I should probably read that." But I try and get into like mystery type stuff, but like it's hard for me because I'm an instant gratification person when it comes to reading, which is why I read romance novels, because you immediately know that these two main characters are going to get together by the end of the book.
Yes. Oh, yeah. As soon as they come in together, you're like, they're going to be together. Yeah. Yeah. And maybe that's why I read the mysteries is because when I write, I put my characters together so fast. Maybe it's I need a little bit of a, hey, what's going to happen with this whole thing? So,
that makes sense. Yeah, that makes total sense. What books or authors would you recommend other people read besides yourself?
One of my current favorites right now, and she's a mystery author, is Geneva Rose. I love her, and honest to God, if you go follow her on TikTok, she will make your whole day because she's hysterical. Her and her husband are hysterical. I would read her books just because her TikToks make me laugh because she is just her husband's name is Drew, but she calls him she goes, "Me and my husband, the past tense of draw are." She's so funny. I love her. She just cracks me up. So I love Geneva Rose. I love her mystery books. She has a new romance novel out about a girl who gets amnesia and can't remember. She was dating three guys and she was going to tell one of them she loved them, but then she gets amnesia because she gets hit by a car or something, so she can't remember which one she was going to tell she loved. So it's like she has to start from scratch. So I want to read that just because it's a very interesting premise. I thought that was pretty cool. One of my favorite authors, and she writes paranormal romance, is J.R. Ward.
Mhm.
I love her, the Black Dagger Brotherhood. I would totally recommend her to just about anybody. I love her stuff. Geneva Rose is one of my favorites. Who else have I been reading a lot of? I've been reading Tessa Bailey quite a bit. I've
I
been picking up
love
her
Tessa
stuff.
Bailey's books.
Yeah,
They're so
I've been
good.
trying to read her stuff. I love her, and she's funny too, just to watch on Instagram.
She cracks me up. Her TikToks are
She
funny
makes
too.
me laugh. Yeah, she's funny too. Those are probably the three I would really recommend. Pick up and give them a shot. Especially J.R. Ward. She kind of inspires me. I feel like I model a little bit of my writing after her. The way that I write is a little bit the way that she writes. Because when I was thinking, oh, nobody's going to read past tense third person romance books, I picked one of hers up and was reading it, and I'm like, never mind, this is past tense third person, and I devoured like all of them. So yeah, so she's kind of my inspiration for writing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I guess since we're going into the writing, are you a planner or a pantser?
I'm a pantser. I'm a huge pantser. As I've written more books, I've tried to become more of a planner because I have to keep track of so many characters and so many things, and especially in Loves of Lakeside, that world it's rapidly growing on me because I'm up to 4 books and I'm working on book 5 on that one right now. So I've really had to kind of plot them a little bit more. I also have kind of tight deadlines with my publisher knows that I write fast, so she pushes me to write fast, which is fine. It's kind of nice to have that person behind you pushing you to do a little bit better. So she really pushes me, and it makes it a lot easier so I'm almost more of a, what do they call, a plantser, where I plot a little bit and I'm a pantser a little bit. My characters have a tendency to tell me where they want to go. Yeah. And I kind of have to follow what they want to do.
Yeah.
So
I've had a few people tell me that too. They're like, I had a plan for this character, and then they just decided that they didn't want to do that. So
exactly. Yeah. That's pretty much me all the time. I was going to do this to this character and he didn't like that idea. So instead we did that. Yeah. 100% me.
Characters are finicky like that, man.
Yes, they are.
All right. Are you a Kindle, paper, book, or audiobook person?
Oh, that's a tough question because I've recently just started listening to audiobooks. And I like them when I'm like doing stuff like cleaning the house and cooking dinner and things like that. I love my Kindle because I can take so many books with me in a small little package. So I use my iPad. So I have the Kindle app on my iPad. And, when we go places, I can take 100 books with me on that Kindle. So but I love them all. I mean, I like having a physical book in my hands too. So if I had to pick a favorite, I guess I'd have to lean towards paper, just because I love having that paper book in my hand. So
yeah, I totally get that. I was a Kindle gal. I mean, I still have a Kindle. I'm probably gonna buy me a new one on Black Friday. But my mom bought me a Kindle when I was in high school, and I just loved it because I didn't have to walk around and people can see my steamy romance covers.
Yes, they're on the Kindle. That's another reason to have it. Yeah, so I'll do that a lot especially when we go on vacation in my in-laws' house. I'll take my Kindle because then I can read whatever, and nobody's like, and they're like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm reading.
I'm just reading a book.
So I'm just reading. You don't need to see what it is.
Yeah, you don't need to know. So I read on my Kindle for a really, really long time. Like, I don't even think I picked up a paper book for like years. And then all of a sudden I like walked into like a Barnes and Noble or a Borders when Borders was around.
Oh yeah, when Borders was around. I miss
And
Borders.
me too. Oh my
I
gosh,
miss
I miss
Borders.
Borders. R.I.P. Borders. But I couldn't even tell. I might have been in a Target. I don't know. I can't remember. But I picked up this book by this author who I actually got to interview, which was so awesome. And I picked it up and I read it and I was like, I love this. And then I got the entire series. Like I have the entire series on my shelf over here, and I was like, okay, paper books it is.
Paper books it is. Yep.
And then it just became a real problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard being a person who likes things.
Yes, it is. I agree 100%. Oh yeah. Well, I have 2 bookshelves in here that are pretty filled with books and stuff, but
Mhm.
then I like my husband and I have a ton of books in the bed. I have books everywhere. They're not even all on bookshelves. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I get that
I get it.
100%.
I
Yeah,
get it.
my goal, because I live in an apartment right now, is to buy a house and to have just one room, just like my office slash like my library, and just have
Yes.
all of my books and things in there. And I was like,
Yes.
that's really awesome. Like, you don't want it to be a guest room? Nope.
Nope. I
That's
want a
gonna be my
library.
library.
Exactly. It's going to be in my library.
My goal is to have a library like Belle and Beauty and the Beast, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it.
I think that's every woman's goal,
Oh
honestly.
my
Any
gosh.
of us who saw that movie.
Dude, I was watching it recently and they were like, oh, like, do you cry like at the end, true love, blah blah. I was like, no, I literally sobbed when he opens the door to the library.
And it's
This
like,
is all yours. And I'm like,
right?
that's the best thing ever. And they're like, you cry because of a library? I was like,
Yes.
did you see it? It's the most
It's
beautiful thing I've ever seen.
amazing.
Dude,
Yes.
got the rolling ladders and the staircases. Like, what do you mean?
And floor to ceiling books. Oh yeah,
Ugh.
it's the best thing ever. The
The
best
dream.
thing ever.
It's
Yep.
my dream life.
It's the dream. I
It's the
agree.
dream.
It's the dream.
I mean, if I gotta be locked in the castle with a beast, at least I got books to read, you know?
Exactly. I'm sure that's how Belle felt too.
Yeah. Man, what a dream.
Yep. A
Well,
good
those
dream.
are all the book questions that I have for you. So I'm gonna get into the real stuff right now.
Okay.
Since I found out that we have so much in common.
Sounds good.
Who's your favorite supernatural character?
Well, it's got to be Dean. I'm a
love
Dean girl.
I'm also a Dean girl. I love
I'm a
Dean so
Dean girl.
much.
And I'm so funny. I'm rewatching it, and I texted my daughters the other day, and I'm like, okay, I love Dean, and I love Baby Dean, but oh, give me later season Dean all the time, because that man, I'll tell you, he's I'm a Dean girl.
Jensen is just.
I know. Yeah.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
what season am I on? I'm on the season right now where Sam is soulless.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I was
that's a
like,
good
there
season.
is just something about soulless Sam,
I
man.
know.
That's
actually, he's my favorite Sam.
Yeah,
Soulless
me too.
Sam is my favorite Sam. I'm going to find this picture on my phone while you're asking me questions. I got to show it to you. You're going to love it. You're going to love it while you're asking me questions.
Soulless Sam was the best. I was so sad that
Yes,
every
he
time
was. You're not wrong.
Dean got possessed, or like they gave him a storyline where he wasn't Dean, that it just got cut so quickly. I was like, give Jensen a chance, man. Oh my gosh. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, so that's me with the boys, and that's probably my most favorite picture with them ever. And my daughter, it was so funny because we went to a convention and I got that picture done. And you don't see the picture when they take it because they take you through so fast.
Yeah.
So my daughter had gone to the restroom and she's like, I said, stop at the table and see if my picture's out. So she stopped at the table and she comes back and it's in a paper bag. And she's like, she legitimately was like, Mom, you're going to hate it. She thought I was going to absolutely hate it. And I opened it and I'm like, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. Jensen's about to kiss me. Yes. And I loved it. Favorite picture I've ever gotten with the boys. I've got a few with them. So yeah.
My God, I'm so jealous.
Yes.
Loved it. My friend Shelly, she owns a company that called Conquest Journals.
and she works with Creation Entertainment. So
I bought one of her journals.
Oh my gosh, yes. She just it's in my bag, but she just came out with a reading journal.
Oh, okay.
And oh my god, I love it. Like, this is not a if you want something from Conquest Journals, go to conquestjournals.com. But like, it's so I love it. And Shelly is like the ultimate, and all of her stuff is officially licensed with Supernatural. And
yes,
so
yeah, it is.
the first time that they had a Supernatural convention here in Indy was like a few years ago, and we got to go and like interview. We got to interview Rob Benedict, which what a handsome man.
Oh, he is, and he's so sweet. He's so sweet.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
we got to interview him and his band, and then we got to interview Richard Speight Jr., Kim Rhodes, and Brianna Buckmaster.
Oh, I love Brianna Buckmaster.
Dude, it was Kim Rhodes for me because I watched The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody when I was a kid.
Yes, yeah.
I was like, guys, I get to meet Zach and Cody's mom.
I actually, some of my fan fiction in later seasons, I got into a Dean and Donna ship. So I
can get behind that.
I was a big time Dean and Donna, and I had a friend who was at a con, and Brianna Buckmaster was talking, and they were like, and she said something along the lines of, wouldn't it be great to see Dean and Donna throw down with each other with a bucket of pudding and some donuts? And so I wrote a fan fiction called Pudding and Donuts about Dean and Donna.
I love it.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah,
Dean and Donna are my fave, and
I love them.
Oh my god, and like Kim and Brianna are just like the funniest people on the whole
They
planet.
are. Oh, I love them. Yeah, they've been at a couple of the cons I've been to, and they are just amazing. So much fun. So much fun.
I mean, a Supernatural con, that is a convention to go to. That is an experience.
It is. It is. Once you go, you're like hooked forever.
Yeah, so, and I want to go at least one. Like, I'll just buy like me a little like low level ticket just so I can go in and take a picture with Jensen and Jared, because they're like the only ones that I don't have a picture with.
Oh, you got to do it. You got to do it.
I know, but they're always so far away. Like they don't do like. So, I mean, I think they did one in Indy like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while since they did. They haven't done one here. Like they did one here like 3 years in a row, and then they haven't done one in quite a while.
Yeah, so, and like I'm like, I can't buy these tickets and then like buy airplane tickets and like all of the things. So it's just like I'm just waiting for them to be a little bit closer.
Yep,
just
so
I can drive.
Yep.
So I'm holding out hope that they'll either come back to Indy or like go to Chicago or Michigan or
someplace close. Yeah,
somewhere in the Midwest. And then also one more question.
Okay. Gotta ask it.
You also love Marvel. Literally, I was reading your website and it was like Supernatural fanfiction. I was like, oh my gosh, she loves Supernatural. And then it was like, and she loves Marvel. I was like, and she loves Marvel?
And I love Marvel. Yep.
I was like, where has she been all my life?
Well, you found me, so I guess we're best friends now. So
besties. Yep. I know. I can't wait. We're gonna start following you on all the things.
You do it, and I'll follow back. So, yep.
Who is your favorite Marvel character?
I'm a Captain America girl.
Yay! So sorry. I'm so sorry. That was such a fangirl thing of me to do.
God, I love it.
Oh my gosh. I also love Captain America. He's my I got to meet Chris Evans.
No, see, that's the one I haven't met Chris Evans.
Oh my gosh. Wait, let me go find it. I met him in April. He was at C2E2 in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go. But like my money was kind of tight. And I was like, oh, I can't, I can't go. And so one of my friends, I found out like months later that he was the one who bought it for me. But one of my friends, no.
It's almost dinner time. So it's time for him to start telling me.
Oh, yeah. But my friend, Sam, he bought me my meet and greet ticket and my pass to go meet Chris Evans at C2E2. And I was like,
I'm so jealous.
Dude, look, Mimi, let me tell you how it went, okay? Because because you know, like you get all hype, right? Like you're just like,
Oh,
my God,
yeah.
oh my God, oh my God. So like
Yep.
I'm standing in line and I'm getting hot because I done worked myself up. I'm standing there, I'm like going like this, right?
That's
And
me when
there's
I meet Jared and Jensen.
and you know those photo rooms are so small, right?
Yes. Yeah,
And
they're
there
like a
were
little box.
dude, and there were so many people, and there was like a person in line, like at the front of the line to like tell you when it was your turn to go, and then like another person in there, I think was like Chris's handler or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. And so like I'm standing there and I'm like scanning myself, and they're like, "Are you gonna be okay?" And I was like, "Probably not." Like I
That would be
said
me.
that.
No,
I
actually, I'm probably
said
not.
that out loud. And my friend KJ went with me, and she was like, I know they were probably like, can we get an ambulance on standby over here? Because this girl's gonna faint. And so, like, you know, they have the rules where it's like no touching,
Yeah,
blah,
nah,
blah, blah,
dude.
whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm like standing there, I'm like about to sob, right? I'm like, and I walk up, and Chris Evans is like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "I'm so nervous." But he held his arms out for me and he gave me a hug.
Oh
And
my
I
God,
was
I'm
like,
so
oh
jealous.
my God.
I'm so jealous.
Dude, look, I don't know if you can see it.
I can. Oh, look at you
Oh
guys.
my gosh, dude.
That's so awesome.
That picture, and I posted it everywhere, right? And so everyone's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
everyone's like, oh my God, Johna, this is so exciting. We're so happy for you, blah, 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 right? And they're like, I've never seen you look so happy in a picture before. I was
Well,
like,
because it was Chris Evans.
I've never been so happy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. It was
Now,
it was great.
after you walked away, did you cry?
Yes.
That's
I
what I
did.
did the first time I met Jensen. I was so nervous. I was standing in line, and my daughter walked in the line with me as far as she could, but she wasn't getting her picture taken, so she couldn't go in the room with me.
Yeah.
And so I got in, and she went around and waited at the door where you came out, so she'd be there when I came out. And I walked out, and I went,
Yeah.
burst out crying. And she's like, Mom, it's okay. Was it bad? I'm like, no, it was the best thing ever.
Literally me.
Sobbing.
That was literally me. And then like,
oh my gosh,
I was trying to go out, right? And Chris was like, "Oh, thank you so much. It was so great to meet you." I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And so like I'm walking, and there was like this man like standing in front of the door, and so like I'm walking towards the door, and he's right there, and so I stopped walking, and KJ goes, "Johna, like." She was like, "Do you even remember what happened?" I was like, "Barely." Like I kind of blacked out, if I'm being honest. And she goes, "You just stopped walking out of the room," and I was like, "No, I didn't." She was like, "You stopped walking." Like I thought they were gonna like try and call security or something because you just stopped walking. And I was like, I feel like there was a man in my way. Like
somebody was in my way, and I couldn't go any further.
Literally, that's what it was. And so she was like, "Yeah, okay. Like, yeah, there was a lot of people in there." And I was like, "Okay, like, I'm glad we're on the same page." But yeah,
oh my gosh.
And I just was like, I didn't get like, I was just holding my picture the whole, like I was in the car just holding it, and I like
just hold it, yeah,
dude. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, mine are all in. Well, mine are actually in my Conquest journal. They're all nicely neat in my Conquest journal.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
And then my boss, because she knows how much I love Chris Evans, right? And like I printed out like little 4x6s. I got one on my desk at work. I gave one to my mom for like Mother's Day or something like that. Like that's how serious. I was gonna make it my Christmas card this year, but he got married.
Yeah,
so like, you know, it's weird now. But my boss went and got me a, what is it, like a 16 by 20, like it's a big big print
of it. Oh my gosh.
Picture. And I was like, what do I do with it? It's just hanging up in my house right now.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh my God. Like as soon as you come up the stairs into my apartment, it's just me and Chris Evans.
I love it. That is awesome.
Dude.
That is too awesome. I love it. And I'm jealous.
Oh,
you got Chris, I got Jensen and Jared, so we're kind of even.
Swap, you know.
Gonna have to swap now.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I want you to know that I love you very much.
Oh, thank you. I love you too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we're besties now, so
friends,
it was so much fun talking to you.
Same. I know. I was
this
like,
has been awesome.
so excited. I was so nervous. I was getting so nervous when I have to talk to authors because I'm like, I hope that I'm fun and that they have fun and that I ask good questions. And then,
Oh no, this was so much fun. I had a blast.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Thank you.
Where can all of the awesome people watching this video find you?
They can find me on Instagram and Facebook as author.mimi.francis. And those are the two I'm at the most. I'm on TikTok. I'm terrible with my TikTok, but I'm on TikTok as at author Mimi Francis, all one. And Francis is with an IS, not an ES. And then also my website, mimifrancis.com. And then all of those on there, you can find the links to my books on any of my social medias too. So,
all right, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming to book club. I literally had so much fun talking to you.
I did too. I had a blast. It was so much fun talking to you.
When your books come out next year, hit me up and we can talk.
Will.
We can get on here and talk about more of those.
Yeah, I will. I'll hit you up when Taken by the Mobster comes out. So.
Oh yes, I'm definitely gonna be reading that
one. Yes, I can't wait. I had so much fun. Yay!
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching my video, friend. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed doing it. For more interviews like this one, please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KJ Today. And if you want to read my book reviews, you can check them out at kjontheair.com.